Okay, so I was supposed to come up with an intro actually, and I didn't. So we don't have one yet. But welcome to Post Film Clarity. Today we're going to be doing a little intro episode, just to get to know us better. So we're going to. I thought it'd be fun to just say hi to the audience of all three of you. We love you. Thank you. And we're. I thought it'd be fun to just read each other's bios and introduce ourselves. And this is like our trial tech run episode. We don't even know if this shit's recording anything right now. Um, but we finna find out. So, welcome.
Welcome.
So, do you want to go first, Lindsay?
Yes, I'll go first reading about you.
Yes, read about me. Read to me about me. This is literally my dream.
Mariquita, her, is our resident pop culture guru and two-time film school dropout.
Twice.
She hails from the Hudson Valley area of New York State,
Woo-woo.
a hub of creative arts and cuisine. She's been obsessive about the creative process of filmmaking and behind-the-scenes knowledge since her early childhood.
These are all true statements about me.
Gosh.
I went to film school, technically twice, and dropped out twice because college is for suckers. Lesson.
Like me. Marquita's first memorable movie experience, seeing The Nightmare Before Christmas with her mom at age 5.
Yeah. And I ended up working at that movie theater later on.
What year was that?
That was 1993. And I was talking to my mom about this recently because we're both unsure, but we think this is not actually the first movie I saw in movie theaters, but it's the first one I remember. I think my mom said that I had seen movies in that movie theater where I ended up working and living later on. I think the first movie I saw there was Aladdin, actually, which explains my sexuality now. So, but yeah, that's my. I have a lot of movie memories at that specific theater back home, but Nightmare Before Christmas was pretty life changing for me, and I think that's what got me interested in movies and how they're made and all of that. And I was definitely 5 years old by that time.
You actually remember at 5 years old?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't remember when it was, but it was like one of the first tapes I owned as well. So that is a very special movie to me personally, and a very special movie theater to me. Shout out Community Theater. I hope you come back one day.
Do you remember how you felt when you saw that for the first time?
That's a good question.
Like, were you scared?
No, and I think the thing is that I was supposed to be scared. Like, I felt like as a child, that was one of those movies that was quote unquote like scary, to younger audience members. But I was like in love. Like, I was a little goth ass bitch. I was obsessed with like the Addams family. I think I'd already seen Edward Scissorhands at that point.
Oh, I really like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Oh my god, I saw that movie again. I feel like there's something about Tim Burton movies that were like supposed to be like creepy, scary, even especially for little kids. But I was excited by it. Like, I loved the animation. I loved the music, that Danny Elfman music. It just, ooh, it hit. I wasn't scared at all. I was like inspired, if that makes sense. Like, I found it very like inspirational. I was like, wow, I want to learn how to do this. I want to be in the movies like with these characters, like in this world. Yeah, so that was kind of my cinephile origin story. It was definitely Tim Burton movies.
Yeah, what year did you say this was again? Because that will really show our age gap.
I was 5 in 1993.
Wow. I was not born. I was not even in my dad's ball sack.
It's a very classy way to say it. Yeah, yeah.
I think that's how that works. Maybe I was floating around at that point.
Not floating around. Oh my god. We made it about what are we in here? 7-8 minutes before we're talking about your dad's nutsack. Well done. Well done. That's impressive. Plenty
All
more
right.
of that in store.
Shall we move on?
We shall.
These are some directors that made Mariquita feel something. Starting off strong with Martin Scorsese.
Ugh, my king.
Which we'll get into later.
We got a lot of Marty content coming for you.
Spike Lee.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Another king of New York. Very on brand.
P.T. Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm that familiar.
Magnolia. Oh. Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Say no more.
One of my favorite first time. I got to show Lindsey Magnolia for the first time last year in 35 millimeter, bitch. God. She was.
I had no idea what I was walking into.
It was such a pleasure and such like a joy to sit next to you and experience that with you for the first time. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I was like, Lindsey, I see you. At that point, we had seen like 20, 30 movies together. I was like, girl, you have to see Magnolia. I was like, I'm sorry. It's 3 hours, da-da-da. She was like, it's nothing.
Sign me up.
I was like, we're going to see it on film the way it's meant to be seen at the Alamo, sold out, packed house. Yeah. We sat there riveted. I had never saw it in a movie theater before. So that was like, God, that's like one of my life goals was to see that movie on film in a movie theater. And Lindsey got to experience it that way for the first time.
That was in the big theater, too.
Yes, that was
a big one.
Biggest theater at the Alamo. Theater number 1. Yeah. Shouts to the Alamo. We love you. But yeah, that was one of our core texts as like friends and movie lovers was the Magnolia experience.
Getting to walk out of there and be like, oh my God. Amazing.
Oh, I had chills. I was like, oh, this is for the real heads. This is why I know I fuck with you. Man. So that's P.T. Anderson. I have plenty more P.T. Anderson to show you. I can't wait for you to see Phantom Thread, There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights. His library is so strong.
Okay, next to Steven Spielberg, Greta Gerwig. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. So Steven Spielberg, some notable like movies that really have like touched my soul and like mean so much to me. E.T. Just challenge. Watch E.T. and not cry. I've failed every time. I love that movie so much.
Drew Barrymore as a little girl.
Little baby Drew.
So cute.
So cute. Yeah, E.T. is like another core text for me and my little sister, who's the same age as you. This is kind of like a sad story, but you know.
Oh.
We be sad girls. So.
Tell me more.
Oh, man. So one year. So our parents were both like blue collar, like didn't get holidays off pretty much. Like my dad was a truck driver and my mom was a nurse. So every Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, birthdays, yada yada, it was basically kind of either we celebrated it on a different day, we didn't celebrate it at all, or we would celebrate it alone. So there was one Thanksgiving where both our parents had to work, and I must have been, I don't know, 15 or 16. So my sister was like 3, 4. And it was Thanksgiving. And we were alone on Thanksgiving, just the two of us at the house. And E.T. came on the USA Network. And we were like, I hadn't seen it in a while. And I was like, oh yeah, like E.T. Oh my God, this movie's so cute. You'll love it, Chloe. Cut to us sitting there eating fucking Thanksgiving dinner, crying. Crying our eyes out and like holding each other while our parents were gone at work. Oh my gosh. I still like every once in a while I'll still like call her and be like, yo, remember when we watched E.T. together and like lost our minds? She's like, bitch, don't.
Does she remember at 3?
Yes!
She was at 3?
Yeah. She
must
have been.
Gosh.
She must have been 3 or 4.
Wow.
But
that's like
I traumatized her.
Special brain memory.
Yeah. She remembers the Thanksgiving E.T. experience. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. Don't watch a movie if you're sad and lonely and your parents abandoned you and you're also 4 years old stuck in a house with your teenage sister. It wasn't chill. It wasn't a good time. But anyway, one of the only directors who could do that to me is Spielberg. And fucking Jurassic Park. Like, come on. Jurassic Park, which we also saw together on the big screen.
We did. Yes,
wow.
we did.
And we saw Malcolm X together on the big screen too. We've seen one of each of these directors together.
We have.
Oh my god, and fucking AI.
Oh yeah?
AI for Spielberg.
Another one. 2 down for Spielberg.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Spielberg movies together. Holy shit.
Wow. Spike Lee is Malcolm X?
Yep. Wow, look at us. We've seen 3 Gretas together.
As if we haven't seen like 75 movies together.
76, actually. I checked our Letterboxd today. Wow. We are at 76 movies together.
Man, wow.
I know.
That's crazy.
So many.
So many movies. And so many different settings.
True.
Not all just the theater.
No, that's true. Yeah, we've done them at Night School Bar. Shouts to Night School Bar. We've taken a lot of film classes together as adults, which is way more fun because you can drink and there's no homework. So,
yeah. And they don't make you talk if you don't want to.
Yeah, Lindsay's never spoken in class a single time, and I love that for her.
And it's strong.
And I love it because our professor Nicole is always like, at the end of class, like after we've had like this great discussion and everyone's just like really laid it all out and like had these like these epiphany moments and everyone's like going around and like there's that lull in conversation and then like Nicole will look around and look at everyone in the class and be like, all right, so anyone who hasn't gotten the chance to speak yet, like
I'm just like
bitches,
you guys better speak up.
I'm like, Lindsay, say something. She's like, mm-mm. I'm like, respect the quiet queen. Couldn't be me, but
I did have to say my name a few times and like some fun facts, but I tried to keep them light and funny.
That's true. You have introduced yourself a few times, but other than that, Lindsay will not be called on in class. No. She's here for vibes.
I've accepted it. And I'm glad that everyone else accepts it too.
We accept and respect it. So that's where we saw all the Greta Gerwig movies together. We took a class on Greta Gerwig over, what was that, late spring this year?
Yeah, it was May.
Yeah.
May.
That was a banger. That was a great class.
So good.
She's only made 3 movies and they're all fucking amazing. What a legend. She's only made 3 movies.
Wow.
All 3 have been Oscar nominated. Your favorites could never. Put some respect on Greta's name.
The one thing that I think Nicole would always say is Greta always goes, she says she doesn't want to be the best female director, but the best director. Get it straight.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she can do it. I mean, she kind of already has. Like, she's so... Her first 3 movies are so strong. Like, no one's hit it that hard, like, out the gate like that, except for Scorsese, Lee, Anderson, Spielberg. You know, like, she's in really good company, and I think that's also why I put her on this list, quite frankly, because I just feel like she's got such a long career ahead of her, and I'm such a fan. She's not the only female director I like and love and enjoy, but I just think, especially recently, like, given we've seen so many of her, we've had so many discussions about her, and we've watched all of her movies together, I felt like she belonged on this list. This is very, like, sentimental for us, like, as a shared director. And Lindsay got to watch me cry for 2 hours straight during Little Women.
Oh my gosh. I think that movie party was like one of the most beautiful things I think we all got to experience.
The first time we saw it?
Yeah, with Kate.
Oh, yeah. We love Kate. She brought us all together to watch Little Women, and I had never seen it before.
Me neither.
So that was like, that was both of our...
Yeah, I had never seen it before.
We saw it for the first time together.
It was, oh my God.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was so beautiful. And at the very end, Kate told us like her favorite parts, and she was tearing. I was like, "This is so beautiful." I think I went home the rest of the night like, "Oh, I love girls. I love this." It was so nice.
That's
So
like,
beautiful.
oh, stop. I will cry again. Yeah, that was, oh, that's such a memorable. I remember now because I showed up early slash on time, which never happens. And I brought her a bouquet of flowers.
Oh my god.
I just like walked in with like an armful of flowers and I was like, here. And I made a cocktail. And then like everyone had on like cute little dresses and like, I don't know. It was just, and like we had little snacks and it was like,
We all had cake together
we all had cake together
afterwards.
afterwards. It was
So
very,
cute.
it was so soothing and like, it was like a big, like kind of like siblinghood, like bonding experience. I feel for all of
Yeah.
us. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was your first time seeing that too.
Yeah, I'd never seen it. I hadn't seen any of the other versions either.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into some of these emotional support movies. We're gonna start with Babe.
Ooh, Babe.
I'm so curious and so fascinated that you put Babe
You've seen Babe, right?
a long time ago.
Oh my god.
It's been a while.
Woo. Okay, so the thing about Babe, that was my grandmother's favorite movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and I loved it too. So that one we used to. I lived with my grandmother growing up, and we used to watch Babe together all the time. She would laugh so hard at this simple story about like a pig who wants to be a sheep herding dog. That's it. That's the fucking story, and it's so beautiful, and it's so touching, and it's like, it's just a perfect underdog story. And my grandmother loved it, and I loved it, and it was a tape that we would always watch together before she passed away. So yeah, I love that little pig. Love that movie.
Pig.
That little piggy.
That little pig.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite movies. You can put that on. I know every fucking word, every song to this day.
We've also got the Addams Family up here.
Yes, and that I think besides the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like live action, I think that is one of the first tapes I ever owned.
Wow.
I told you I was a little goth bitch, so
A little Wednesday.
Oh, I loved Wednesday. Are you kidding me? Christina Ricci was one of my earliest crushes. Again, explains a lot about my sexuality. Anyway, it was Edward Scissorhands and Wednesday Addams. What's a girl to do?
What can you do?
Except
what can you do?
Internalize that for the rest of your life. What's a queer girl to do? But yeah, Addams Family is, I think, one of the funniest movies, and just the vibes immaculate, the costumes, the music, just yeah. I watched that movie like every day. I was a little goth kid. I cannot stress that enough. It was Addams Family, Edward Scissorhands, and The Nightmare Before Christmas on a loop. So that's one of my comfort movies. I also know all of the words to that movie.
Okay, our last emotional support movie, Happy Gilmore. Let's get into that.
R.I.P. Carl Weathers, first and foremost. A fucking legend. A king. Ugh. I miss him.
That's the...
Adam Sandler plays golf.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah, and he...
Peak Adam Sandler.
That is, in fact, peak Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I agree. So Happy Gilmore is my mother's second favorite movie. I just asked her about this because I thought originally it was her favorite, but her favorite is actually Sinbad's House Guest, because my mom is a good woman and a woman of taste. House Guest, if you can find it, watch it. It's one of the funniest movies ever made. But yeah, Happy Gilmore, I've seen it 500 times. I was obsessed with Adam Sandler growing up. And yeah.
I don't know if this is just unique to both of us and why we like get along with movies so well, but we both are obsessed with Adam Sandler.
That is true.
And his movies, like, and not even like very specific Adam Sandler
That is so true. Yeah, I think there is a generational gap, but we have like very solid crossover, and
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is
Mm-hmm.
a millennial Gen Z fucking
Yes.
no one. If you don't like Adam Sandler, I don't know what's wrong with you. Just grow up, get a
How
life.
can you?
If you have bad taste, just say that. But in this household, on this podcast,
We are pro Adam Sandler.
no Sandler slander allowed.
Sandler slander.
No Sander. Nope.
Adam, Adam Sandler. Sandler.
No Slandler.
Slandler. No, Adam Sandler. Sander slander.
It's not allowed is the point. It's not allowed.
Not here.
Get that shit out of here.
Not here.
So yeah, those are my emotional support movies.
If we want to hate on anybody, though, we can hate on Rob Schneider
All
day.
fucking
All
day.
day.
That man is a demon. Fuck you, Rob Schneider. It's on sight. Anyway, I also like baking.
Marquita likes baking. She loves her Letterboxd list.
I'm a Letterboxd whore. It's my dream to work at Letterboxd. Speak it into the universe. Make it happen. I wanna be a Letterboxd correspondent so bad. Look at if I just put the orange, blue, green stickers on this microphone, you can see it, right? I want to work for Letterboxd. I'm putting that out there. It's gonna happen. Give me a few years.
Along with Letterboxd list, we've got Night School Bar.
My favorite place in Durham, North Carolina.
We've got attending movies, especially repertory screenings.
Yeah.
Taking baths.
Love a bath.
Perusing comment sections. And spoiling her beloved cat, Maxine.
The love of my life. My daughter. My child. My everything. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. You will likely find me being messy in a comment section while taking a bath.
I have found Marquita. I haven't told. This is like first time, but I have come across so many of her comments on Instagram without realizing that it was her first. Like, oh, who said this? Oh, it's Marquita.
You know how many times my friends have sent me screenshots of me going viral in some comment section? They're like, bitch, is this you? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'd be in the comments. I'm funny. I gotta get my jokes off. Someone's gotta hear this material. It may as well be everyone on Instagram. You're welcome. Anyway, I'm gonna read out Sweet Lindsey's bio.
I took a lot of time trying to make this bio sound funny.
It is funny. I think you nailed it. I feel like you like nailed your essence, you know.
And I've never been able to do that before. I don't know what came over me.
You did a great job. So, Lindsey, she, her, is a socially awkward 25-year-old from Durham, North Carolina. She spends her days perpetually sleepy and working with plants. She's an avid watcher of films and hoarder of thoughts. Spent much of her youth renting movies from the library. We didn't talk about this, but I was also a library kid.
Oh, that explains so much.
I lived at the Catskill Public Library, bitch. I literally had my own room there. Chloe and I were at that library every damn day, and I would walk out with an armful of DVDs. Yeah. That was my safe haven. That was my I love the library. What was your library and what was your section when you were younger?
I think it was because there's a butt ton of libraries in Durham. I think this was the Northern Regional Durham Public Library.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, it's in North Durham. It's nice though. It's a nice library. Nice like the downtown Durham one.
Ooh, okay.
But like smaller.
Okay. Didn't know that. Shouts to North Durham.
Favorite section, the dramas. Yeah. Or rom-coms.
Did you do any like repeat rentals? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What were your repeat rentals when you would go in there? Like, if we were to pull your like library history from that time period, what would it be? what would be the most rented
Jeez.
movie?
Probably. God, that is a hard question.
Ooh.
Do you know what yours would be?
I think it would have been, man, this was high school,
I know.
so.
I already know. I know what it is.
Ooh, okay. In high school, I was starting to get into my like pretentious film girl era. We all go through it. Who's to say I'm not still in it? But I think it would have been. I know I rented I Heart Huckabees a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. That was my senior quote in my yearbook was from I Heart Huckabees by David O. Russell.
Wow.
In hindsight, no, I stand by my choices. Fuck that. But I also rented. I rented Ocean's 11 a lot. The Brad Pitt, George Clooney one. Stuff like that. I was pretty like into early 2000s kind of like thrillers and like then also like indie dramas.
Okay,
What's
now
yours?
I have two good ones. First, above all else, A Walk to Remember.
Bitch.
Any single time.
Bitch, are you okay?
No.
A Walk to Remember?
Anytime
that movie made me sick.
I specifically remember when I was 11 and I was like, I'm renting this movie today, going home. That's my evening. I'm watching A Walk to Remember at 11 years old.
I think that's one of the movies I've cried the hardest at in my life. That's on like 2019 Little Women level of crying. Yeah. Like I was in fucking shambles.
Mandy Moore in that. Oh, I think she's
so beautiful.
She was like 17 or 18 or like 16.
For sure. She was in her late teens, definitely. Yeah.
I would watch the commentaries and I would just watch them over and over and I was obsessed with that movie. It was so beautiful.
Lindsey is also riddled with 2000s film knowledge.
Yes.
What are some examples of this? I know we've talked about Joe Dirt before.
Yeah, Joe Dirt. Honestly, on the subject of David Spade. God, what's that young childhood?
Oh my
actor,
God! Not that? Like Dickie Roberts.
Yes, Dickie Roberts. I love Dickie Roberts.
Lindsey, that is so unhinged.
I love that movie. What's the other? Alyssa Milano? Is that her name?
Yeah.
She's in it?
Yeah, it's like so Dickie Roberts' former child actor. Yeah. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that's again where we cross over generationally is that late 90s, early 2000s, like campy, girly, like really disgusting guy comedies. You know, that's where we're Harold and Kumar era and like Beer Fest and, you know, just Jackass and Where's My Car?
Oh my God, yeah, those are big ones. I love both of those so much.
I know because I also big. I'm not even gonna say guilty pleasure. They're just pleasure.
Yeah,
to me. I don't apologize.
My car? Oh my God,
shibby. Man. I don't apologize for it. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm trying to like strike my memory.
That's one of my many Letterboxd lists that I worked really hard on was the early 2000s Comedy Central like banger playlist. And it's just a list of all the movies that were always on Comedy Central.
The Hot Chick.
Hot Chick, yes. Oh my God. Word for word.
Did not age well.
No.
Has not aged well. But at the time, oh my God.
Boys are cheats and liars.
They're
such a big disgrace. Yeah, we know it. We know it.
They tell you anything to get to second
base. Baseball. You think he's gonna score?
If he threw it all the way, then you are a whore.
To cultural studies, science, geology studies, rocks. Anyway, you get the point. Yeah, big Hot Chick fan. Yeah. Speaking of the phobias and the isms, fucking Shallow Hal.
Oh, I actually really like Shallow.
No, she doesn't. I'm cutting your mic, bitch.
I'm sorry to say, but I actually really like Shallow Hal. Sorry. I'm a big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, unfortunately.
I'm cutting your fucking mic.
Sorry.
That's it. We're pulling the plug. Podcast over.
Okay.
Wow, you were so brave to admit that.
I stand strong. Xiao Hao.
She's standing on business.
It is very problematic, very fatphobic, just all around not a good idea, but
it's not a good idea.
Such a good movie.
It's like, what if this skinny hot girl was fat and disgusting?
And then all of the super hot girls are ugly.
Oh boy. Wow, we were really cursed as a society.
Yeah,
that's the early 2000s in a nutshell.
Yeah, honestly, Xiao Hao. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway.
Love Jack Black though.
Oh.
I love Jack Black.
Big fan. Yep. Love Jack. School of Rock is also one of my most watched movies of all time.
School of Rock is one of my favorite movies.
Same. It rotates in and out of my Letterboxd top 4. So some of Lindsey's firsts, Big Fish. She says here that Big Fish rewired the imagination of her brain. What do you mean by that?
Okay, have you seen Big Fish?
I have seen Big Fish. God, I'm pretty sure I was in high school when that came out. I definitely rented it from the library.
I think I can talk about Big Fish forever. When I was younger, it was literally the first movie I can ever remember saying, this is my favorite movie. Like, no one can touch this. And for so long, everyone would make fun of me. They were like, this movie is stupid. And it's like, you don't get it.
They don't get it.
And for so long, I was like, maybe it shouldn't be my favorite movie. But
don't let them talk you out of it.
Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, no. Big Fish is my favorite movie.
I think it's a great choice. It's one of Tim Burton's best movies. Like, who are we kidding? Yeah. The man, he's kind of been on a slump for the last 20, 25 years. Big Fish is like kind of the end of that like high point for me.
It is the singular reason why I love Ewan McGregor so much. And Jessica Lange. Wait, is it Jessica
Lange?
Mm-hmm. Jessica Lange. I love Big Fish. I don't. There's just something, and maybe this is me saying that I'm a big liar because the movie is based off of a lot of lies. Kind of.
It is.
But I don't know.
They're tall tales.
They are tall tales. There's something about how it just extended into the beliefs that the guy had,
mm-hmm.
into like how it comes back on his son. It's so beautiful.
It's a great you want to cry about your dad movie.
Yeah.
Big Fish.
Yeah.
Up there. That's
yeah.
That's like daddy issues cinema.
If you just want to be amazed, I think when I was younger and anyone ever asked me about it, I would say it's got every single type of genre you want. It's got romance, it's got action, it's got drama. It's so good. It's adventure.
It's fantasy.
Yeah. It's so good. Such a good movie.
You're right. I haven't seen it in a really long time, but I do remember loving it when I was in high school. And I haven't seen it
Danny
since.
DeVito is also in it.
Love Danny.
If that doesn't tell you enough.
Go watch Big Fish.
Go watch Big Fish and tell me what you think.
So it says here that adventure dramas are one of your favorite genres.
Yeah.
And you have here as an example Flushed Away.
I would honestly say Flushed Away and Big Fish.
You're right.
Both adventure dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Flushed Away.
And they're both like family stories.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Big Fish and Flushed Away are the two movies that I can remember flipping through, because I own both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Flipping through the old CD case of both of them.
What is it about Flushed Away that spoke to you so much?
Frog Mafia. Frog Mafia.
I don't know what that means, but okay. I don't remember that.
So
she was so serious too. She was like, Frog Mafia.
Mafia.
You hear me?
Frog Mafia. There's no other. It's about rats in the sewer, and they get taken over by the Frog Mafia.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that plot line at all. I just remember them being in the sewer and how like cool it looked. So yeah, Chloe wasn't really a huge flushed away person, so I didn't see it that much. But we were huge Wallace and Gromit people.
Oh, I
I
didn't
think
really
it's
get into
similar,
Wallace
similar.
and Gromit.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually surprising.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think claymation kind of scared me a little.
I think it was like a lot of those movies are supposed to be scary,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wasn't having it. I was like, no, I just think this is beautiful, and I kind of want to make them now. So, you know, different
Yeah.
strokes. So, what else we got here? It says that you are a very big admirer of dialogue based filming, especially British and East Asian films. So does that speak to again like your love of like action and dramas and like period? Does that include period pieces?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think for me this is a really vague description, but I love when like the plots are centered around two specific people kind of like having epiphanies together.
Like us at
Yes.
the movies.
Yes. The first movie we saw was Past Lives together.
Ooh!
And I think that's
We
such a good representation of what I mean here.
That is a really good point. Oh my god, Past Lives. We talked about that movie for like an hour.
Yeah.
We stood in the parking lot at the Alamo Draft House and talked about Past Lives for probably an hour.
Yeah. That was the first movie we ever saw together.
She asked me.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of conspired it together.
She was plotting on me.
Yeah, I was plotting because I remember I can't remember because I knew you were into film, but I didn't know the extent of it. And I heard you say, I was like, oh, like I went to the movies the other day. And I was like, interesting, very interesting. And then when I saw the trailers for Past Lives, I was like, interesting, because you had talked about the Alamo, and I was like, that sounds fun. And that's how it happened.
Was that your first time there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the first time. I didn't even know anything about it.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm gonna cry. That place is so special to us.
And then I immediately bought a membership right after.
She said, okay, so see you tomorrow?
I'll see you indefinitely.
70 trips later.
Yeah. And now we're at a podcast.
Yeah, so I guess our podcast origin story is
Past Lives.
Past Lives.
At the Alamo.
Woo! That movie really changed our dynamic, and like it gave us something to bond together over, like outside of the larger friend group that we're a part of.
Yeah.
And it became just like our little thing that we would do, just the two of us, and like we would have our own like, rhythm and like schedule. Yeah, it was.
And then I moved and I ruined it all.
She moved to another city and ruined it.
I ruined it. I ruined it all.
Oh, it's all right though. It happens. We still go, just not as often, but we still go.
But now we're doing the podcast.
That's true. It's like our own version of the discussion, the post Alamo discussions.
Well, I think because that's really what like, and I was like, we should really start a podcast, because after the Alamo, I mean, we would just like waste probably like hours in the blink of an eye just talking. And then when we stopped seeing all the movies, I was like, we should just start a podcast.
Yeah, honestly, we should have done this a year ago, but you know,
people need to know what we're thinking about these movies.
You're right.
Some good stuff.
She's right. We have a lot of good takes. You'll hear them soon.
Yeah.
So, directors that make Lindsey feel something, we have Hayao Miyazaki, Greta Gerwig, Tim Burton, Bong Joon-ho, and Martin Scorsese. Now, we have a lot of crossover, obviously.
Yeah.
Greta, Tim, Scorsese.
Yeah.
Bong Joon-ho, we took a night school bar class together.
Was that the first one?
That was the first one.
The first one.
Girl, that was a year ago.
That's crazy.
That was a year ago.
I should watch all of them again.
Happy 1 year anniversary to our extracurricular.
Back to school.
Back to school. Happy anniversary, night school bar.
Wow.
That was our first class we took together. And as soon as we met Nicole and like got into the rhythm of like the discussions afterwards and like making friends at class. And this is like people we see all the time now. And like I hang out there pretty much every week, whether there's a class or not. But Bong Joon-ho was the first class we took together.
Such a
what's
good first one.
I know, right? What's your favorite of his?
Snowpiercer.
Ooh,
for sure.
Interesting. Most people say Parasite.
Well, I think I have a better connection with Snowpiercer because I would rent that from the library.
That was one of your library movies?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I would rent it all the time. So good.
Look at that.
And that's before I even knew who he was. Mm-hmm. And yeah, when we saw Parasite, that was the first time I saw Parasite.
Me too.
In class.
Me too. I missed it when it came out. I wasn't seeing movies in 2019, so I missed Little Women, Parasite, like any of those big movies that were coming out and like right before COVID. I missed everything. I didn't even see Avengers Endgame until the pandemic.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one.
I missed like 2 years. I worked 3 jobs. It was a lot. But anyway, Bong Joon-ho, big fan. Yeah. Big fan. His next movie, did you know, is coming out I think in January maybe, and it's starring Robert Pattinson.
Really?
Our king.
Oh my God. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And Hayao Miyazaki. So this was a rare cultural exchange on Lindsey's end where she got to show me something for the first time.
What was the first one that we
at
saw
the Alamo?
Together?
Spirited Away.
Okay, yeah, that was the first one.
That was my first time seeing a Miyazaki movie, and it was so beautiful and so special.
Man, Spirited Away. That almost like triggering. Oh my gosh, it was so scary.
It is a little scary. I was telling Lindsey after that movie, I was like, damn, I love it. I get it. I feel like I'm definitely going to become a Miyazaki girl, but that shit was scary.
Scary.
I'm glad I did not see that when I was a kid. I feel like that was a little too, like, acid trippy.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into that stuff, but Spirited Away is beautiful, and that was, like, one of those instant, like, 5-star movies for me. Yeah. So I'm so happy you showed me that for the first time.
So good.
And then we got to see The Boy and the Heron together.
Yeah, with Rob Pattinson.
With our boy Rob.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of Rob together, actually.
We have.
Because we also saw, like, all of the Twilight movies.
Well, that just kind of makes it easy.
Those were also first watches for me last year at 35 years old. I'm a very late stage twihard, but I'm happy to be here. So, so Lindsey is on the journey right now, expanding her director filmography knowledge. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Lindsey loves to go on a deep dive like I do. And once we see something we like, we'll go explore other works by that same artist. And, you know, you see one, I want to see 3, 5, 10, as many as I can, and like really catch the vibe and compare and contrast and get like a deeper understanding of the filmmakers.
I'm really big at like, I have a lot of actors that I like, and I have a lot of movies that I like. So because I would say I can't really like say what my favorite movie is. Like you tell me 3 different types of movies, I'm like, oh, they're all my favorite movie. So I'm really trying to figure out what directors I like more.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I can expand that. I think I was looking up Uptown Girls.
Oh,
that is
Brittany Murphy and Dakota Fanning.
One of my favorite movies. But I remember looking up, I can't remember who the director is, but I love like when I see a director with 2 movies that I didn't know were like directed by the same person.
Yeah.
But I love them in like similar ways. And like being able to connect that is very beautiful.
That's so cool. I love when that happens too, when I'm looking at something and I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of such and such, and then I look it up and it's the same person. I'm like, yeah, I see you.
Yeah,
I see you. So, yeah, Remember the Titans is what you were thinking of. Yeah. He directed Uptown Girls and Remember the Titans, and he hasn't really done a lot since. That's actually kind of crazy. Where are you at?
I always wonder, like, the impact of making movies like this, what it really does to you.
Me too. That's a good point. Like I feel like some people they have something and then you never see them again. And other people who fucking suck, quite frankly,
Yeah,
make 50
so many.
movies.
Like
And I'm like, how? So, wrapping this up, we've got emotional support movies for Lindsey. Speaking of Miyazaki, we've got Ponyo,
mm-hmm.
Mad Money. Is that Sandra Bullock?
No, that is Queen Latifah, Katie Holmes, and Diane Keaton.
I don't know anything about this movie, I don't think.
Really? Oh my! We're having a movie watch then.
Okay.
This not only an emotional support, but just one of my favorite movies ever. It's about three extremely hot older women
Sign me up. Say less.
robbing
Ooh.
a bank.
Oh, I love it. I love hot women doing crime.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite genres.
Yeah. There's like one scene where when they really first start to get into the business and they like play Marvin Gaye in the background.
Love him.
Got to
love
give it up.
Yeah.
Makes me feel things. I actually had kind of issues with stealing things when I was younger. And Mad Money came out in 2008.
Lindsey, little klepto?
Yeah. 2008 is when Mad Money came out, and I think it kind of adds up.
Oh, not you. Not you being...
I was a big thief. I was a really big thief.
Amazing. As long as it was from corporations, steal away.
Yeah.
Steal away. I don't care. But not at Target because they have facial recognition.
Yeah, they like rack it up.
Yeah, don't steal at Target. They know you're stealing. They will let you steal until it's a felony, and then they will put you in jail. You don't want to go to Target jail. You don't want to go to jail for Target.
No.
So we both have Adam Sandler movies in our... I didn't even notice that. Of course we do. We both have emotional support Adam Sandler movies. Shouts to Anna Stone of Stone's Top Tens. I just did a spot on there discussing this movie. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll be able to see the link for that in our highlights section. But I just did an episode about Big Daddy on another podcast, another film podcast. This is one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies as well.
What year do you?
This came out in 99.
Wow. Yeah, so I was I might have been alive.
She was possibly alive when Big Daddy came out.
I love Big Daddy so much.
It's a really good, like, jump in at any point type of movie and just quote all the words. And it's very... That's a really good one. It's like, you have a theme here. You have a theme of, like, kind of unconventional, like, family dramas.
I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot deeper and sadder.
Isn't it always?
Perceived by the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, well, I think watching movies like this when I was younger is, like, that was what my community was. So, like, having those types of movies. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lots of dad themes.
Ooh,
lots of dad themes.
Didn't even clock that, but yeah, the dad issues.
They're stacking up.
Well, you know, I'm going to reframe it and not say that we have daddy issues. I'm reframing it as our dads had issues.
Yes, that is very true.
Let's rebrand it. I didn't have the issue. He did.
Mm-hmm. And we were just coping.
We were just coping
with film.
We were just coping, babe.
I didn't do the best we can.
I'm still doing the best I can. Shit. So, for hobbies, Lindsey is also a cat mother.
Yes.
We are cat mothers together. Her cat Musha, very cute.
Musha.
So much personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
The light of my life.
She's a good one.
I live and breathe for Musha.
Same. And Max knows it too. She's got me wrapped around her finger. It's... What are you going to do?
Musha is...
Cat ladies.
A princess. And everybody knows it. She knows it. There's no denying it.
Someone's got to do it. It might as well be us. Plant pressing. So that is a new hobby for
Yeah.
me, we just had a plant pressing party at Lindsay's last week. She hosted us and some of the girlies, and we all got to make little plant pressing little flower pattern thingies. I haven't seen mine yet. I hope it came out good. No, you do it for the love of the art. And plant pressing
Yes.
is an art.
It is an art.
It's very cute. It's a very like cutesy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's very you.
Thank you. Well, I did it professionally in school.
Oh,
Like for my degree.
whoa.
I was like a professional plant presser. So then, well, like when I got out of school, I framed some of them because like, why not? And then I got into like actually pressing for like a little hobby.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Was that like part of your like curriculum for what did you study?
Environmental biology with a concentration in plants.
You love to see it.
I would have to, yeah, lots of plant pressing.
She's a real life Professor Sprout in these streets. Finishing up, Lindsay, Lindsay has bugs and critters
as my hobby.
as a hobby. Just bugs and critters.
If you know me, I have sent you a bug or critter from work.
This is true.
It's my daily routine. Somebody is the lucky pick of the day. And I love to share whatever critters I run into for the day.
And we love to see them. It's snakes, rabbits. Really just depends.
Lots of praying mantises.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Mantises, birds. Really just depends on the vibe, but yeah.
And the season.
And the season.
And the season.
Daydreaming.
Big hobby of mine.
I should have put daydreaming as well, but I feel like that kind of goes into like my bath time. I just lay in the tub and
that sounds
think.
Amazing.
It's great. It's great.
In the bath.
Oh my god. I had a really bad injury like 4 years ago, and like part of my physical and mental recovery was just long ass baths every day. And I would think my thoughts in the bath. And, you know, it healed me. I feel like bathing fixed me. It fixed me. And I got a lot of daydreaming done in there as well.
I love a bath. I think my thoughts on my little walks trying to find my bugs and critters. That's beautiful.
Ugh, it's poetry. Yeah, so that's pretty much, just an overview of who we are, what we do, where we be doing it at.
That's us.
That's us. So we wanted to tease our first official episode where we actually start covering movies.
Yeah.
And we wanted to let you know there's not going to be homework.
So you just got to tune in and listen to what we have to say.
Right. If this all goes right, technologically speaking, which, fingers crossed for your girls, this is our third try at this. I think we got it this time, but assuming everything goes all right, we should have that out in a few weeks.
Yes.
We're going to try to do 2 a month, see how that goes, and stay tuned for more from Post Film Clarity. And to wrap it up, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows we are on YouTube. We are on Letterboxd. We are on Instagram. We are Post Film Clarity Pod on everything except Letterboxd. On Letterboxd, we are just Post Film Clarity, all one word. I know it's not good branding, but Post Film Clarity Pod, too many letters. They have a character limit.
Oh.
I know.
Wow.
Didn't know that either.
Okay.
All right, Letterboxd.
Do what you want.
Do what you want, I guess. So we're Post Film Clarity on Letterboxd, Post Film Clarity Pod on YouTube, IG, and Post Film Clarity Pod at gmail.com if you want to reach out with suggestions and just feedback.
Great.
Yeah. Get in touch with us. You can. As long as you're saying, don't be coming to our inbox with weird shit. I'll block you.
Or we'll expose you.
Ooh, we will also expose you. Yeah, I like her idea better.
Right in this little square.
Yeah. Screenshots will be posted.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. Whatever you send to me, that's my property now.
It's part of the pod.
It's part. You're sending us content. Just know that. It's part of the pod at that point. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for getting to know us. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, honeys.